Hello, Live by Design, not by default. Welcome to Inspirational Moments with me, Billy. This is our third live session in this series, and so please like, share, participate, and comment, and let me know what questions you have along the way, as well as what topics you'd like me to cover, and I'll be delighted too. Now, for those who just joined us, you may catch our first and second session in our YouTube channel, Billy Kueek. In the first session, our topic was hope, and then where I share about the goals, where I share about your resolution. In our second session, we talk about what lights your fire, essentially helping every one of us to discover what are the inner driving forces and the motivation that works within. All right, and then along the way, I received some questions privately through messages, and some of you will share with me your goals. Many of you have actually written down states as goals. States would be an emotional state, a mental state, or a physical state. So I get statements like, I want to have more happiness in my life, and more happiness. Happiness is not a state. Happiness is a state. It's not a goal, because happiness is something that you can have now, and it requires very few steps or no steps at all. One of the ways you can achieve your state of happiness is, for example, by remembering a time when you feel really, really happy, and then you allow yourself to get absorbed into your thoughts, and then you can feel the emotion of happiness. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting some messages coming in already. So for those of you who are with me now, you can please click on the light or give me a comment, and perhaps tell me where you're from. I'm using a new software, as I think some of you will notice. Hi, Aloysius from Dubai. I see you. Okay, now I can look at some of your comments. Hello. We got Keith. We have Kit from Malaysia. Ruben. Hello, Ruben and Joseph. All right. So welcome, everyone. I can see all the likes, maybe a little bit of black. Okay, I'm trying to get used to this new setup and this new software. Okay, in our first session, we discussed about hope and goal setting. And as I mentioned earlier, some of you came back to me to ask me to vet your goal statement, and that you actually set the state instead. So I thought in this series, I want to start off by talking about the 7 steps, or rather the 7S checklist with regards to setting your goals. Okay, so first thing first, goals must be specific. And so you have to state exactly what you want. Example would be $1 million. And then, of course, you have to write it down, and you have to have a time frame behind it. So I want $1 million by 30th December 2020. Or I want to weigh 65 kilos by 30th June 2020. All right, so it has to be very specific, and that there are always steps required. Okay, and you have to substantiate it, meaning you have to want it enough, and goals are stated for self only. All right, so that was our first session, and that was on hope. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Joey. Joey is in Malaysia right now, I believe. Lynn, Joanne, also Malaysia. Okay, so I will continue on. Our second session, we discussed what lights your fire. So that's when I give you a little exercise to work on, to discover what are your inner driving forces and your motivation within. Because with that, we can tie it up with your goals, and then we can tell if the goals that you set, which is what you wanted consciously, is aligned with what you want inside you, which is unconscious. All right. Hello, Marissa, Annie, Joey. Okay. Yeah, still in Malaysia. Yes. We're all looking forward to you coming back. I've been getting updates about what you're doing there. Okay, so today's session, our topic is effectively taken from a quotation I've written 11 years ago: live by design, not by default. Okay, when it comes to living by design, what the origin of this particular quotation and this phrase is because we used to run public certification training programs in NLP, and that is neuro-linguistic programming, in timeline therapy, hypnotherapy in coaching, in NLP coaching, as well as, hi Mary, as well as, cannot resist saying hello when people say hello, all right? Just, okay. All right, so the program title was quite long. It's Neuro-Linguistic Programming, Timeline Therapy, Hypnotherapy, Applied NLP in Business, NLP Coaching, Practitioner or Master Practitioner Certification Training. It ended up being like very long. And my team and I discovered that our graduates who went through the programs, learning all these techniques to manage their mind, to manage their emotions, their heart, and to manage their physiology, their actions, and their behaviors, effectively get to live by design. Hence, we simply call it LBD or live by design now. All right, so let me know along the way when you have any questions. Okay, so this was the 7S checklist for you to go fine-tune your goals, all right? And the reason is because of this simple live by design framework, all right? You have to, first of all, know what is your current state, all right? After knowing what your current state is, you can then proceed to set your goals, all right? Your goals will be the things that you truly desire to achieve, the who that you want to be, but you're not being that person right now. The what you want to have in your life but you're not having, or what you want to do with your life and that you're not doing it. Those will be areas that you can consider that you can set your goals, right? And then, of course, from your current state to move to your desired state, there are several areas of mastery we need to overcome, because the mastery of these areas, these aspects, effectively help you to remove all the barriers that's been blocking you from achieving the goals. I mean, think about it. Why are you still setting this goal now versus having already achieved the goal some time ago? Okay, so first thing I want to highlight is managing your state. Now, when your state is calm, control is in your palms, right? That means nothing can affect you, nobody can affect you, because you have your inner self-control. You're able to take control of your own state. Okay, so in today's session, just like the last session, I will attempt to share with you a little technique that we teach in NLP called the peripheral vision or the learning state. Okay, so after managing your state and being able to take control of your own states, next comes mastering people's skills. I don't know how many of you realize this, that people who irritate you seem to appear very often in your life. Those of you who share this same sentiment, you can click a like or something and give me a sign. Or does it just happen to me? Right? For some strange reasons, the people whom you detest, they seem to always come and put you in the test. Now, here's the thing. On a daily basis, we are either influencing people or we are being influenced, right? And whoever we make associations can actually affect our elevation. So it's very important we choose who our friends are, and we master ourselves over the toxic people and the negative people around us, right? Because either we are influencing them or they are influencing us. All right, so people mastery. Yep, someone is acknowledging, definitely. Okay, next comes psychological mastery, mastering of your mental states, your thought patterns, and your belief systems. I also wrote a quote once that said, if your belief system is not liberating, they are definitely limiting. All right, belief system don't have half-half. It's not like it's not like you are half pregnant. You cannot be half pregnant. So as far as belief system is concerned, even though I get people who come and share with me that I am more positive than negative. Now, when you say that, that means there are some negativity that operates within you already. So here we're talking about mastery. Mastery means that you have full control over it. Okay, and they only appear when I think of them. Lin, that's a nice one. If I don't think of them, they don't turn up. Good, and hence, whatever we think about, it seems to manifest in our life, and people included. Okay, so psychological mastery is about being able to take control of our thoughts, our moment-to-moment thoughts, our belief systems, because belief systems are actually not, they are actually not reality. They're actually not facts. Problem is, many people mistake a belief to be facts. belief are simple barriers and stoppages, that we can, when we overcome them, they can no longer become a barrier. All right. And it is within yourself, because I mean, think about it, who controls your belief system? Is yourself. All right. So one quick way that I can share today is by managing your self-talk. All right. Can I get some responses? How many of you here actually talk to yourself? Now, for those of you who are wondering at this moment, do I talk to myself? Okay, you are already talking to yourself. All right. Self-talk is an integral part of us. It's a natural process. Okay. So although we may be bombarded by the toxic people, the negativity around us, we still get to manage our belief system, our thought patterns by controlling our self-talk. So effectively, it is what you say to yourself that really matters. Okay, so taking better control of your thought patterns through self-talk is already half the better one. Because you can talk yourself into believing something that is positive, or you can talk to yourself into believing something that is negative. And yes, Tricia said, I talk to myself and I think a lot too. Yes, so that is managing your self-talk. I get feedback that I'm going a little bit soft, so I'm going to move the microphone a little bit. Bear with me, this is just a new setup. I think the first and second session, you actually see how my study room looks like, but this time round, you don't. Okay, I kind of like float in the air in the slide. Okay, after psychological mastery, managing your mental state, your thoughts, and your beliefs, next comes emotional mastery. Emotional mastery is about having EQ, it's about having emotional literacy, the ability to recognize the different feelings that you feel and then being able to label them accurately. Like, for instance, if you mistaken the rage as anger, then obviously they're very different. You see, rage is more intense than anger, right? So men especially, we are not so in tune with our emotions. There's a saying, we men tend to be more logical, women tend to be more emotional. Now, I think what that really means is women are more in tune with their emotion. They can differentiate between annoyance, frustration, irritations, anger, and rage. Whereas men is, yeah, I'm just angry lah. When that happens, I guess it's actually more intense than anger. Oh, Farah is using earphones, smart of you. And some are connecting to external speaker. That's Mary, smart of you. I hope you're hearing me better now that I moved the microphone closer, or at least I'm leaning closer to the microphone. Okay, so emotional management is about having the ability to harness the inner passion and motivation, the ability to navigate your negative emotions. Think about it. Without passion, life is only motion. Again, one of my favorite quotes. All right, next comes physiological mastery. Physiological mastery is about mastering over your habits, your behaviors, recognizing the patterns that you run. In NLP, we call that strategies. Pattern seems to be a more common word, at least in the Singapore context. We have local produced movie and local produced sitcom, where one of our famous actor, Mark Lee, will tell someone when someone started acting up. The moment they started acting up, he can actually go to them and recognize it and look at them and say, hello, friend, you chewed pattern. Okay, effectively what it means is that the person is running a program. They're running a pattern, a strategy. Hence, techniques like NLP is useful, because NLP actually stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, meaning using language to program the neurological systems, the patterns and the strategies that they run. People who run negative strategies will attract negative results. That's no surprise, simply the law of attraction. Right? The problem is many of us have no control over our habits and behaviors because we don't know how. Reason being that they tend to operate more at the unconscious level, and it's from a moment to moment basis. And that's why you cannot be consciously aware of every little movement you do and every single action you take. Okay, so that forms part of the physiological mastery. Now, of a bigger concern in physiological mastery, as far as I'm concerned at least, is I hear that a lot, and that is procrastination. Okay, again, like to have your response. How many of us here procrastinate? Do you? Have you? For those of you who are wondering, okay, do I click or don't click? All right, that's procrastination. All right, so when you procrastinate, obviously, it's not going to bring you closer to your goal. All right, so this whole process, this Live by Design framework is effectively knowing where you are now, your current state, and then deciding on your desired state by setting the goal as we have explained in our first session. And you can again, once again, you can catch it on our YouTube channel, Billy Kueek. All right, and then harnessing the inner driving forces. All right, by managing and discovering your motivation, by discovering what lights your fire, which was what we discussed in session 2. Today, I'm going to teach you also a technique in NLP that will help you to manage your state, keeping you in a peaceful, serene state where you have resilience over our negative environment and whatever that is going on. In fact, by activating that state within us, you actually will feel so much better yourself. And because by accessing that simple state, you cannot access any negative emotions. Okay, so after you manage yourself, because everything should be done from inside out, then we go on to people mastery, and I'll be looking at sharing more and more techniques with you along the way. So if you like, treat this as like a training workshop, a physical training workshop that I do. Actually, this is the only the third time I come on the video, because for a long time I always prefer to do a live session because I feel that there's energy bouncing around and there's interaction. Okay, fortunately we have all the thumbs up and all the hearts and all the emoji, all right, that you're responding to me, and that's what's tickling me. Okay, and that's what's tickling me with some of your comments as well. Okay, so overcoming, being resilient to people, mastering over your mental and psychological state, mastering your emotional state, mastering your physiological state, in order to clear all these barriers and go and achieve your desired outcome. All right, so if you have further questions and all, please feel free to post up your questions. I'll take a moment to look at and scroll your comments. Oh, Mark Lee is my favorite Singaporean actor. Yes, he's my favorite too. He reminds me very much of myself. Okay, like happy is an emotion and the people mistake it as an end destination. Very good point, Lin. We don't aim to be happy in life. Happy is an emotion. Happiness is an emotion, not a destination. Good quote. If you've written that yourself, please copyright that. That's a very good quote. All right, I repeat that again. Happiness is an emotion, not a destination. Therefore, happiness is a state. It cannot be your desired state, because it's a feeling that you get, that you can instantaneously get when you want it. Okay, any more questions and sharing? I am procrastinator number 1, and people go, yes, me. Okay, all right. Well, at least you're not procrastinating in responding. That's a good sign already. And then we got the whoops. Okay, Lynn is happy about the quote that I share. So I want to proceed on to the next slide. Okay, this is the next slide. Explains what your peripheral vision state is. PV stands for peripheral vision. Now in NLP we call this the learning state as well. Reason is because when you do this, you actually activate your mind to operate at its best when it comes to learning. So when we run a training workshop, a certification workshop in NLP, in timeline therapy, in hypnotherapy, in NLP coaching, we always start, the first exercise is always about managing your state and learning how to put yourself in a learning state. Yeah, Tricia says mastering, but at times it comes back, so I need to empower myself again to go back to the desired state. Yes, so it's about managing your state. Okay, so here's how you do it, all right? This is you, your hair, and then your face, and you're facing this direction, looking at what you're focusing on. Now, this is hardwired and built into our eyes, all right? It's built into our neurological system. So what you do effectively is you look ahead, maybe look upwards about 30 to 45 degrees, okay? Find a spot to focus your eyes on, all right? So you find the spot, look ahead, find the spot, focus your eyes on it. And as you focus on that spot, what you do is you open your peripheral vision to visually notice movements and things that are happening on your left and your right as well, without moving your eyes, without moving your head. So your eyes stay firm, focus on that point. You open your peripheral vision. Now, when I say, I'm using vision as an example. Now, if you are more of the auditory kind of person, you can also do that by focusing yourself on the sound. All right, maybe the sound of your own breathing internally. So you focus on the sound, but at the same time, you open up your ears to listen up for the peripheral noise, the peripheral sound that's happening around us. Perhaps a car traveling, at the road. Perhaps a baby crying from 2 blocks away, 2 floors away. Just noticing it. Okay, putting yourself in that state. All right, activates your peripheral vision, your peripheral hearing. Now, when that happens, you will activate a state that will put you in in a state that is very calm, very peaceful, and very serene. All right, that way, that's one best way to manage your state. Okay, it creates a light trance, and doing a peripheral vision state is something you can do, I think, at any given moment. All right, like if you're sitting in a car, in a train, in a bus, on your way back, and you're thinking about something that happened today that wasn't very pleasant, and that affected your state, all you need to do is simply find a spot to focus on. Don't pick someone and stare at their eyes. Okay, then you pick a fight and then you end up worse. All right, what you do is you find something to focus your eyes on. All right, and then open up your peripheral vision, similar to what I'm doing right now. All right, by noticing things on the left, noticing things on the right, noticing things on both sides, yet keeping your eyes fixated on that spot. Now, to add on to this, right, what you can do also, because I know that some of us, you keep ourselves in this state, feels like very boring, and then there's a lot of internal self-talk and things going on inside. Okay, what you can do is you can distract your conscious by focusing on your breathing. All right, and this breathing technique, I learned it from yoga. What you do is you slowly count and take 7 seconds to breathe in, and then you hold your breath for 3 seconds, and then you take 7 seconds to slowly breathe out. After which you take a 3 seconds break again, and then 7. So you do a 7-3-7-3 kind of breathing pattern. So you can focus mentally to count and moderate your breathing. Yes, 7 seconds is a long time to breathe. Some of us may find ourselves expanding so much in our lungs. We've never actually filled our lungs like this before. All right, deep breathing is actually good for you. When you do that, you take in more oxygen, and you get more oxygen flowing in your bloodstream, and that actually helps you manage your system internally. All right, so the peripheral vision state will create a light trance. It'll make you feel relaxed. And by trance, it doesn't mean you're zonked out and all. When we have opportunities later on, maybe I'll do some video clips on hypnotherapy, and then I will share it on our our YouTube channel. So please go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, it's good for learning. It will make you feel peaceful, serene, and very calm. And when you do that, focusing on it being in the peripheral vision state, as well as your breathing, what happens is that you find that you cannot access negative emotions. All right, and the reason is it's simply hardwired into our neurological system and our biological system. Yes, 7 seconds is like, whoa, you're right. If you want to, I can take you through this. Okay, so get yourself fixated on something. All you need to do is just focusing on my voice and what you're hearing. Okay, so focus on one spot. Open your peripheral vision or peripheral hearing. Don't close your eyes. Some of you may be tempted to close your eyes after a while. Okay, now take 7 seconds to breathe in. Okay, ready, go. Hold. 3. Now breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now take a 3 seconds break, and then 7 seconds to breathe in. Okay, again, same thing. While you're doing that, make sure your eyes are focused on one spot, and then you open up your peripheral vision. All right, so that's the peripheral vision state. If you have any questions now, I'll be happy to take your questions. Let me also check up on some. Hmm. Let me also check up on some. Yeah. Okay, when you have a moment, can I see the 7S checklist for a while? Yes, you can. Let me get to the slides. The 7S would be here. Yeah. So goals must be very specific. Remember, the conscious mind is the goal setter. The unconscious mind is the goal getter. So you have to set it in a way that is smart. You have to write it down. There must be a timeline. Okay. You must also consider the steps required, because after you set your goal, the natural next thing to do is, of course, to check that the goal is truly what you want, both conscious and unconsciously. And then uh, at the same time, you can discover your values, what lights your fire inside, so that you can make sure that your goals are aligned with your internal values. Okay, another question. Can I use peripheral vision if I suffer from anxiety? The answer is definitely yes. In fact, later on, when we have an opportunity in future sessions, I can introduce you some techniques specific to handling anxiety. But for now, the peripheral vision state is actually so wonderful. All negative emotions will be gone. You simply just cannot access it. Okay. Understand that anxiety is usually due to a future event and something that hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. But that your mind is thinking about it, you're imagining about it, and that's what's causing you anxiety. Okay, so this is a good time to actually think about the desired outcome you want. And while you have the desired outcome in your mind, whether you visualized it, you have it in a statement, whether you saying it out to yourself, all right, whatever it may be, okay, get yourself in the peripheral vision state, and you find that instantaneously you cannot access anxiety or any other negative emotions. Anxiety is usually caused by overthinking about the future, so much so that you actually scare yourself with a lot of what if this happen? What if this don't happen? What if, what if, what if, what if? Instead of thinking what if, think what must I do about it? How can I go about achieving my goals smoothly, easily, getting the outcome I want? All right. And what's the very first step I'm going to take? What's the last step that's going to happen? And then map out your steps in between. All right. That's how you can deal with anxiety quite easily and effectively. In fact, peripheral vision would be like a very easy way to go about doing it. Okay, so bear in mind, Live by Design is actually a framework taken from my quote, Live by Design, not by default, that was written like about 11, 12 years ago. So from where you are, determine where you want to go. Okay, check by discovering your inner driving forces if what you want to achieve, your desired state, is aligned with your inner values and your inner driving forces, your natural power within, the motivational power within. Okay, here's a question. I'm auditory. Can I do peripheral audio while closing my eyes? Yes. If you're going to do hearing auditory, then it's best to close your eyes so that you will not be distracted. Because when your eyes are open, you're actually exposed to about 2 million bits of information every second, meaning there's a lot of information that's bombarding you visually. All right. So, but if you can see your eyes normal, okay, then do the peripheral vision state rather than getting to the hearing, because the visual part is easier. Now, if visually you may be challenged one way or another, then you find that it's very difficult to do, because there's some people who may have problems with their eyes, and because of that, you find that doing focus and peripheral vision is difficult. Okay, then for you, then you can close your eyes and activate your hearing, activate your senses, your feeling about movements around you and all that, and then you can close your eyes. So very good question there. You can do peripheral audio. I like the way you express it, while closing your eyes. Yes, keep your eyes closed if you're doing audio and feelings. Otherwise, use your eyes. It's a more straightforward way to go about doing it. Okay, got to try that on my daughter because she's anxious about O levels. Oh yes, parents, please do this with your children. Teach them how to use this peripheral vision, this learning state, while they're in school. Now, I don't know if you realize this. All right, I'm not prescribing any solutions here, but this is just based on feedback that we have gotten from our students and our graduates. Now, children these days grow up in a very fast-paced world. You know, I see young kids before they are even walking or running properly. They're still in a pram. They are watching they're watching movies, cartoons with a huge iPad in front of them. Kids these days are playing games. And now, do you realize that how fast these games are moving? You know, it requires a lot of speed, a lot of thinking and acting all at the same time, while the feeling is also happening at the same time, right? So kids are used to exposing their senses in a very fast-paced world. Now suddenly they have to go to school and they're supposed to sit there and listen and watch the teacher. Now imagine what they are used to doing, the parents that they already possess, the skills that they already have, right? Then now they have to be at a place where they're supposed to keep still, and when they don't, they are the problem child. Okay, so parents, what you can do is you can teach your kids to activate the peripheral vision state. Sit them on the chair, feet firmly resting on the ground. Okay, the body lean with to the back of the chair. All right, and what you can do is you can stand behind them and tell them to focus their eyes on the spot, move it up about 30-45 degrees. Okay, the higher you go, the faster you feel sleepy. So it's very good if for those of you who have difficulty sleeping, you can lie on the bed and look at the ceiling and do the peripheral vision state. Okay, so parents, you can stand behind, tell them to focus, and then you can use your hands. All right, put your hands beside them. Put your hands beside them. Move your hands gently like this and ask them to notice your hands. Okay, of course, the camera can only capture such a small angle. You can actually extend your hand so much so that your hand can be all the way straight. All right, you can actually do it all the way straight. Start from the front so it's easy for them to notice, and then gradually move to the side. Gradually move to the side. You may be surprised that some kids they can actually focus and notice even when the hands have passed 180 degree. All right, they can actually notice that. Okay, teach them to activate this state for the first week. Depending on the age of your child, do it for like 2 or 3 minutes. If we're talking about taking O levels, then they are probably 15 or 16 years old already. So that is probably a good time to start with like 3 minutes. So do it for 1 week, and then the next week continue on, but extend it to 4 minutes, and then 5 minutes, and then 6 minutes, and gradually you move up. If your kid can do that for 10 minutes, then encourage them to do it themselves. Okay, and if they can do it, then they are already in control of their own internal state. The anxiety, the feeling anxious, all this will disappear. All right, and of course, if your kids are worried about their anxious about their O levels, then they need to recognize what is their current state and what is their desired state. So teach them how to set the goals and work with them. Okay, 8 p.m. live streaming is more ideal than 6 p.m. Can consider the next live streaming on 8 p.m. again. Answer is yes, Dylan. The reason we're doing at 8 p.m. is previously we did it at 5, and some feedback to us that they had difficulty rushing back to be on to catch the video, the live stream. That's why we also post it on YouTube. I will try to do 8 p.m. as much as possible. All right, so but give me your feedback. Let me know what time you prefer. 8 p.m. means I am postponing my dinner time. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for feedback. We will run this at 8 in the future. You have a kid who's doing you got so old, man. Okay, so question, PV or meditate helps to relieve, stop access to negative emotions. However, it is only temporary. Yes. At the moment when you feel negative, activate the peripheral vision state. The negative emotions will go away. Okay, when you have that state, you don't have negative emotions. So yes, you get into that state. So during that time, you do not access the negative emotion. So once we are out of meditation state, it returns. How do we deal with those negative emotions then? Okay, that's where your homework comes in. Okay, so remember, we are moving gradually. So first, we got our current state. We set our goals. I'm teaching you a state management technique. I'm revising your goal setting with you. Now, your homework next is to go identify all the other areas in your life. As far as people are concerned, what kind of people irritate you? who are the difficult people in your life that irritates you, that brings out the worst in you. Okay, don't just think about it. Open a notepad in your smartphone, write it down. Okay, so that when we come to the topic, you have something specific to work on. All right. Similarly, capture yourself thinking. Catch yourself thinking. If you have any negative thoughts, any negative beliefs, write them down. And of course, the negative emotions as well. All right. Reason why, for some of us, if you don't access a peripheral vision, a state that manages how you feel, then what happens is you can have negative feelings that kicked in. Reason being that those are feelings that you have accumulated all your years. All right, because from the moment we are born, or even before we are born, we experience emotions, we feel things, right? And of course, there was a time where we are supposed to just sit down and listen, and then you may be wrongly accused, or someone disturbed you, or someone did something to you and it causes you to feel a negative emotion. You actually accumulate them all over the years. So imagine if you got a lot of annoyance when you're 3, when you're 5, when you're 7, when you're 12, this one irritate you, that person irritate you, this teacher accused you wrongly, and you felt very misunderstood. All these negative emotions, when you accumulate and don't do anything about it, it will actually intensify and become a stronger negative emotion. And that's the reason why, for some of us, you find that negative emotions kicked in whenever you have time to yourself. You start thinking about things, and somehow this negativity will kick in. All right, timeline therapy. One of the topic we teach is actually one of the best technique that I've discovered over the last 23 years. Timeline therapy is a collection of techniques great at dealing with limiting decisions, great at dealing with negative emotions, including anxiety, phobia, etc. All right, that we have accumulated over our life's timeline. Hence, it's called timeline therapy. As a result of over 40 years of research. Okay, and we do certifications in timeline therapy approved by Timeline Therapy Association. Okay, so anxiety is a horror movie playing in your mind. That's right. You are constructing, because anxiety is something about the future. So how would you know what the future entails? But when you start imagining all the negativity, that's what's causing you anxiety. All right, so had dinner first next time, or if I had dinner first, then I'm worried I'll start to feel sleepy. Actually, like this is my sleeping time already. 8 p.m. is best. Okay, I'll try to do that. Sound is very low. I will work on the microphone and the adjustments in future sessions. However, if this recording turned out fine on my end, what I can do is I will still load it on our Facebook, our YouTube channel. Billy Quack, please go to our YouTube channel, share, like, subscribe, comment. And of course, you can also reach me through messaging. How about hypnotherapy? Hypnotherapy is a great technique. It is a great technique. Wasit, where are you from? I'm seeing your name for the first time. Okay, hypnotherapy is effectively learning techniques to calm your conscious mind and activate your unconscious mind. Is characterized by mental and physical deep relaxation. All right, so the deeper and the more relaxed you get into, the more trance you are in, the deeper you go. All right, and when that happens, your unconscious mind is very open for suggestions. So in hypnotherapy, effectively, what we do is we will induce a trance state in the client. We will deepen the state when the mind and the unconscious mind is open and the conscious mind is resting. Bangkok, Sawadee Krap. Miss Bangkok, been a long time since I was there. I've been traveling Bangkok since I was 14, actually, all over Thailand. I was fighting Muay Thai for like a good 27 years. Had about over 70 fights in my little fighting career. Okay, some can hear very clearly, so I'm hoping this recording turned out well. So I've upgraded as we go along, first with the software and then with the equipment. I've got a better camera coming next round. Right now, I'm only running 720p. Okay, so let me come back on this if there is no more question. Love hypnotherapy, especially Billy, your hypnotic voice. That's right. Okay, love doing hypnotherapy session as well. In fact, we run the training together with NLP, timeline therapy, and then hypnotherapy, right? So what happened is on day one, all come very alert and everything, and then all start laughing, and then we start digging into the emotion, into the beliefs, and start working out the physiology and everything. And then we kind of conclude the training with hypnotherapy. So you get to like relax and all. I get people coming all the time on day two, day three of hypnotherapy training telling me either they cannot sleep because during class yesterday they slept too much. I think for most of you, this will be the first time you come to a training class and you're actually allowed to sleep or encouraged to sleep or made to sleep. Okay, thank you for your slide. Because of current situation, this is very useful. Yes, I think the peripheral vision state is a very useful technique to deal with this uncertainty, this period that where we are forced out of our comfort zone, out of what we are used to doing, and venturing into the unknown, and that's what's becoming challenging for a lot of people. All right, I think like I shared in first session, I was doing some virtual coaching and virtual therapy, including couple therapy. Interesting thing was now they get to really spend time at home with each other, but they are it's too much, and then they start to get on each other's nerve. All right, so peripheral vision state, something that both of you can do together. Yes, I will be heading Thailand, one of my favorite destinations. My family love going Thailand as well. Okay, so with that, I will end today's session. We are going a little bit long this session at 40 over minutes already. Okay, so here's your peripheral vision state. Remember, focus, open up your peripheral vision, manage your state. Okay, and please do your homework as well by taking note of belief that pop up from time to time, thought patterns, feelings that you may experience, bad habits or behaviors that you want to overcome. You know you shouldn't be doing it, but I don't know why each time it happens, I just kind of like do it. All right. So those will be things you want to write down because we have a technique or at least a technique for each of these problems. All right. I'm glad that you like the slide. I thought, the visual would be nice and would more simulate what we usually do in a training session. Okay, with that, I look forward to you commenting your message. Do share, like, and go to our YouTube channel and look out for our next session. Actually, I have a little announcement to make just before you go. Reason being that we are running some sessions upcoming for you during this period. I think it will be a good time. We have a special program, Introduction to NLP. It's an online training, first time ever, by NLP Master Trainer Kit from Billy Kueek International. It's 5 sessions of 3 hours each session. Go in our page. I think you see this posted up. We will be sharing the details of the dates and all. Now, also reaching out to our graduates as well as all NLP practitioners in the world who's seeing this. We are also doing a special session this coming Thursday on 16 April from 2 to 4 p.m. reviewing NLP practitioner level techniques. So for those of you who have done your NLP, be it at the practitioner level, master practitioner trainer, or master trainer level, you're welcome to join the group. We'll discuss and explore together and revise the techniques together. Now, for those who are not trained in NLP yet, but have heard about this and has been curious about this, or that you have attended some small workshops like the one day kind of workshops that I've been doing, you can actually come and join us and review. Although we'll be talking a bit of a jargon and all of that, so try to catch up from there and feel free to ask questions. All right. Okay, one last question. Can timeline therapy be done by oneself to oneself, or do we need another person to be present to do it? Okay, once you have gone through the training, you would have experienced timeline therapy both as a client, as a patient, as well as a coach, as a timeline therapy practitioner. All right, so you'll be doing with someone, and someone will be doing with you. So you get to be in two different perspectives, all right? And after that, I guarantee you, having done the training, you will know how to do this technique by yourself. Unless you don't do it for like some time, then you return it back to me, All right, remember the training begins after the class ends. All right, it's after the class, what you do about it that really make a difference for you in your life. All right. So yes, join us for the review session maybe, and if you bring up the timeline therapy topic, we'll be happy to revise as well. And for those of you who are new to all of these techniques, feel free to join us as well, and feel free to give us your questions. Okay, with that, I want to thank you for joining me today. Now I look forward. Let me try and play around with this new software. There you go. Okay, I look forward to meeting you again virtually. Please also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Billy Quack. Follow, like, comment on all Billy Quack International pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Do share and help us in our mission to transforming people, inspiring lives. Thank you. Good night, everyone.